Hello and welcome. This is Matthias 76. Together, we're decoding the deception. Together, we are again doing what we do most often. We're going into the Word of God, and you can tell from the page from our website that I have up right now on the screen before you that tonight we're going to take a look at one of the Psalms. We're going to take a look at the 82nd Psalm. It is very important for our understanding of something that unfortunately in the church isn't all that well understood, something that I talk about often, something that gives us real insight and understanding into many things in the scriptures. It gives us insight and understanding into the worldview, the cosmological view of the people who wrote the Bible and the people to whom it was originally written, which is to say, if we don't understand this, we're missing all kinds of important stuff. We are taking a look tonight at Psalm 82, which is exceedingly important in understanding the divine counsel. We talk a lot about the B'nai Elohim, about the fallen ones, about the powers and principalities of this world, as Paul refers to them, those in the heavenly places. Psalm 82 really helps us understand this important biblical teaching. So Psalm 82 is a psalm of Asaph. He's one of the guys. He wrote a number of psalms. I need to look and see, and I will, through the magic of editing, put it on the screen, how many psalms in the book of Psalms out of the 150 are credited to Asaph. But this is Psalm 82. I will read it. It's not that long. I will read it and then we will discuss it. God has taken his place in the divine council. In the midst of the gods, he holds judgment. How long will you judge unjustly and show partiality to the wicked? Selah. Give justice to the weak and the fatherless. Maintain the right of the afflicted and the destitute. Rescue the weak and the needy. Deliver them from the hand of the wicked. They have neither knowledge nor understanding. They walk about in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are shaken. I said, you are gods, sons of the Most High, all of you. Nevertheless, like men, you shall die and fall like any prince. Arise, O God, judge the earth, for you shall inherit all the nations. So much here, so we will simply jump in, and I am going to give the plug. Putting the link on the screen now. It is in the description below. I encourage you, go out and get Dr. Michael Heiser's book, Supernatural. I've got it listed on my website. You go there, you can read a little bit about it. It will pop you when you click on the image straight to Amazon. I don't get anything if you buy it. I just think that it is something that all of us need to have an awareness of in order to understand the scriptures. And most of what you read, if you read commentaries on this psalm, they're going to be all over the place with what this counsel is. But let's jump in. I digress too much. God has taken his place in the divine council. In the midst of the gods, he holds judgment. It is inescapable and supported in all kinds of places in the scriptures. Primarily Deuteronomy 32, many other places, that there are many gods. Now, yes, I said that. There are many gods. The word God in Hebrew, the word God, I will show it to you. It's right here on the screen, is right here. Elohim. Elohim, that is Hebrew for God. That word, El, Elohim. It simply means divine being or divine beings, plural. The scriptures make it clear that there is one God most high, and that is Yahweh. He is the God of gods, the Lord of lords, the King of kings. He is the creator of all things. All the word God means in Hebrew, all the word God means is spiritual being. Spiritual being. These other spiritual entities, and there are many different ranks of spiritual entities, but these high-ranking spiritual entities are called the B'nai Elohim, the sons of God, and they make up his council. Let's talk a little bit about council. God doesn't need any help with anything. God doesn't need community. He wants it. He seems to like it. He likes input from others. He likes working with others. And so he created spirit beings with whom he does that. It is his divine counsel. And he created us. He likes to work with us. He likes to collaborate with us. We'll understand fully what that means in heaven, because right now we're existing in a fallen world, in a fallen state, but God likes to work collaboratively. And there are multiple places in the scriptures where he takes input from this divine counsel. Now, some of the divine counsel fell. They fell. Now, the thing we know most clearly, and that we talk about most frequently with the divine counsel, is in Deuteronomy 32, in Moses' farewell sermon, in verses 8 and 9. And we've gone to this many times, if you're one who follows this channel. When the Most High, the big guy, the one in charge, the creator of all things, when the Most High gave the nations their inheritance, when he divided mankind, go to the Tower of Babel, go to Genesis 11. When he divided the nations, he fixed the borders of the peoples according to the number of the sons of God. The 70 nations were allotted to the care. They were caretakers. These spiritual entities who were called gods. And do you wonder why all these other nations in antiquity had a pantheon of gods, and they all had ones that had similar roles? Those gods who were put in charge of the nations, they went rogue. The Bible does not tell us how or why, but they did. They went rogue. What we're reading in Psalm 82 is God holding court and punishing them, reading to them the charges against them, which they cannot refute, and the judgment that accompanies those charges. But then it goes on here with verse 9, but the Lord's portion is his people, Jacob, his allotted inheritance. Immediately, if you go read Genesis 11, the Tower of Babel, the next thing that happens after he confuses their language and they all head off in different directions, the next thing that happens is God calling Abram from that same land there in Babylon, from calling Abram from Ur of the Chaldeans and making a nation out of him, the nation through which he would call and redeem the nations that had fallen, that were put in the charge of these other spiritual entities who were part of his council. So God has taken his place in the divine council. In the midst of the gods, he holds judgment. Now, one of the things, and I'm not going to get into this, but the word used for God, Elohim, that R sound im at the end, I-M, it is a plural. It is a plural. We're not going to get into why, but that is a plural. It's used of God singular. But here in the midst of the gods, in the midst of. If you're in the midst of, you have to be in the midst of many, many. And what does he do? He holds judgment. Every time you hear something about God holding judgment, God issuing forth judgment, those decrees, it's never good. It's never good. God had enough. They didn't do any of the things he wanted them to do. They did the exact opposite. Now, these fallen entities, these B'nai Elohim who had gone rogue, they're referred to as watchers sometimes, like in the book of Daniel. They fell under the authority of the fallen one, Satan, the devil, the tempter, that guy. Okay. They were under him, working for him. Why they chose to do that, again, we're not told. And there's an interesting thing. You know what the Bible tells us about evil? It's wicked, it's nasty, it's scary, it's appealing. Stay away from it. Just like what the Bible, you can sum up everything that the Bible teaches us, all the important stuff that it teaches us in 1 Peter 5:8, your adversary, the devil, prowls about like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. Don't have anything to do with him. Don't flirt with it. Don't think that you can kind of have it appeal to you and you can watch scary movies that are demonic and wicked and not have it influence you. They're wicked. They fell under Satan's dominion. How long, now he gets into the judgment, verse 2, how long will you judge unjustly and show partiality to the wicked? Now, we talked, the last psalm that we did was Psalm 72. It's one of the two Psalms of Solomon. And in that, he's praying to God for the ability to be a good king. And then it talks messianically about the ultimate king, the ultimate son of David, who would come. But it's these very things that he's praying for the ability to do that here are listed off as being what these ones who were put in charge. And how do things get corrupted? Things get really corrupted when those at the top do the things listed out here. We'll get into them. It filters down through all levels of society and everything comes apart. The wheels come off. Society just crumbles. God's order crumbles. How long will you judge unjustly? Judges are supposed to be fair. Judges are supposed to do what is right. They're supposed to be just, do the right thing. How is Lady Justice pictured? She's got a blindfold on. There's scales in her hand, and she has a blindfold on. But these ones who were in charge, they weren't judging justly. How long? How long are you going to keep on doing this? You're never going to stop. It's not going to change. You've decided to rebel. How long will you judge unjustly and show partiality to the wicked? Not only do they not do what they should do, they favor those who are wicked and corrupt. Corruption flows down. It corrupts every level of society. It all comes apart, showing partiality to the wicked, the evil, the corrupt. They get preference. They get preferential treatment. It's just the opposite of the way things should be. And when we hear these things, because these guys are still in charge of this world, they still hold sway. Make no mistake about it. They may not operate as the Greek pantheon or the Egyptian pantheon or the way they did with the Incas down in Machu Picchu, but the same principles about what they are about are still in play. And what is it that is so frustrating with our world today? There's no justice. Those who are wicked, those who are corrupt, those who abuse children, they don't get outed. They don't get in trouble. Ghislaine Maxwell gets sentenced and condemned to prison for trafficking little kids to people, and the names of those people to whom she trafficked them somehow somehow, through all those judicial proceedings, never come out. And rather, the list is sealed. How long will you judge unjustly and show partiality to the wicked? It all flows down from the top. Selah, that word that means think about it. Ponder that. Think about this. Popping in here, I want to ask you, do me a favor, do others a favor. Go down below and smash that like button. Now, I know when you hear me, you say, yeah, I ought to do that, but you're not going to. But actually go down and do it, because it tells other people this video is worth watching. It is the most important thing you can do to promote the work that we do, to help us with that. And also pray for this channel, pray for the work that we do, pray that this word will get out to as many people as possible. Now he continues on. He's asked the question. Now he's giving a directive, because they still hold sway. Satan is the prince of this world. He has power. The beast that is secular and civil government. It's interesting, in the book of Revelation, it has 7 heads and 10 horns, just like the dragon has 7 heads and 10 horns. Do you think maybe that's telling us something? Who runs the world? Who has power in government, in industry, in all of the things that control our world? Yeah, I think it does. God is telling them, you need to do what is right. These divine entities give justice to the weak and the fatherless. If you just search, do a Google search, Bible passages in the Old Testament that talk about the weak and the fatherless, the afflicted, the destitute, the poor, the widow. It just comes up again and again. It gets God mad. It makes him angry. Think about the one time when Jesus really got mad. It says he got indignant. I'll put the verse on the screen. He got indignant. Why? Because the disciples were keeping the little ones away from him. Those who couldn't speak up for themselves, those who, if they got shooed away by the adults, couldn't do anything about it. God cares about those that no one else cares about. God cares about those who can't defend themselves. And it is often the charge and accusation brought against the wicked. Give justice. Do what you ought to do to the weak and the fatherless. Maintain the right of the afflicted and the destitute. Satan hates everything God loves. And so we see those who God cares about, Satan and those who serve him, the powers and principalities of the air of this world, who hold dominion, they do everything they can to oppress the powerless and the widow and the orphan and the needy, the weak. Rescue the weak and the needy. Deliver them from the hand of the wicked. That is what, as a governor, as one in power, as one who runs a big industry, who has sway over things in this world, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to care about those who can't protect themselves, but that's not what they do. And as a result, tell me if verse 5 doesn't describe our world today in its exceedingly fallen state. They have neither knowledge nor understanding. They walk about in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are shaken. Spend 10 minutes looking at the news. Just read the headlines. Tell me if it doesn't sound like all the foundations of the earth are shaken. The news feed is a nonstop narrative, like waves coming on the shore, one after the other. They never stop, all about how the people of the world have neither knowledge nor understanding, and they stumble about in darkness. The foundations of the earth are shaken. Now here's God. I said, you are God's sons of the Most High, all of you. Nevertheless, like men, you shall die and fall like any prince. Now, I'm going to be doing a video just about the divine council and the B'nai Elohim, because I refer to it all the time and people have questions about it. And in that, I will try to remember, I will endeavor to remember to talk about where Jesus quotes this verse when the Pharisees and the chief priests are after him in John because he says he's God. He quotes this verse, throws it back at them. This is your worldview, that there are many gods. How can you be upset with me? And he wasn't claiming just to be one of the lower gods, but this worldview, it was Jesus' worldview. The man, the Savior, the man, God made man, Jesus, he quotes this passage. I said you are God's sons of the Most High, all of you. They're less than him. They're sons of the Most High. Tells you everything you need to know about rank and order. There is only one God Most High. All of you, nevertheless, like men, you shall die and fall like any prince, just like the princes of the world, Nebuchadnezzar, whoever you want to list, they all fall, they will fall. Alexander the Great, whoever it may be, those princes are going to die, and you're going to die just like them. This is the sentence upon them, the eternal judgment of God that will be carried out. It has yet to be carried out. It has yet to be carried out. It's going to be carried out when they get thrown into the lake of fire. Their eternal judgment, they will be cast into the lake of fire, and they will die, just like the wicked, evil princes who serve under them, the minions, if you will, not the cute minions with funny little overalls and goggles, and some of them have one eye and they make those funny sounds. Not those guys. That's not real minions. The minions are the powers in this world who do the bidding of these dark ones. And don't you wonder why the child pornographers don't get in trouble, why the child traffickers don't get in trouble? Why the satanic, wicked, Illuminati stuff is everywhere in Hollywood, in the movies, and no one speaks out about it? It is their worldview. It is who they are. They put it right out there for you to see, and then they say, oh, it's just make-believe. No, it's not. It is their worldview. When Johnny Depp makes movies about drinking adrenochrome, the blood of little children who've been terrified, it's not cute. They're not nice people. Nevertheless, like men, you shall die. That is the sentence upon them, and that is why they rage. Why do the nations rage? Who are the nations? The 70 nations. Every time you see nations, it's the 70. That's what needs to come to mind. You know why? Because that's what the children of Israel heard. That's what the people who heard Paul's letters when he talked about the nations. That's what they understood Pentecost to be about, going back and reclaiming those nations. And that is what we are laboring to do. Right underneath the noses of the fallen ones, the dark lords, we are reclaiming souls. We are reclaiming the nations. It is what we are to do. And we want to reclaim, redeem, bring back as many of them as we can, because the time is short. The time is short. It is still day, and we need to labor while it is day. Because eventually, what Asaph here asks of God, what he prays, what he implores, arise, O God, judge the earth. Hear the seventh trumpet. See the seventh seal being opened. See the seventh bowl being poured out. Hear those words, it is finished. Arise, O God, judge the earth. And then what does it say? It all hangs together. For you shall inherit all the nations. All the nations come back to God. They come back to God, and every knee will bow and every tongue will confess. It's so important. I say that verse all the time, Philippians 2, 10 and 11. It's so important that we understand that every knee will bow and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. And then the living and the dead, all will be brought before the Lord, and the books are opened, and the nations are judged. The nations are judged. But they all will come back to God. They come back to God for judgment. For those who are redeemed, those who are his, those who by faith have been saved, and that's all it takes. Faith, trust in the sacrificial work, the atoning work, the powerful resurrection of Jesus Christ. That's all it takes for salvation. And Jesus is going to look at us and say, they're with me. They're with me. They're in this book of life thing. See? Page 8,412. There it says Matthias 76. Come on in. It says your name. Come on in. The rest, get judged. So I hope this has been helpful. You really have to do some work to get your mind around it. I have read, there are two books Michael Heiser has, Supernatural, and the other is Unseen Realm. Unseen Realm is, if you like a whole lot of footnotes and all the supporting data and you're into Greek and Hebrew and that kind of thing, it is got all of that there for you. I had to work to get my mind around this. I'm reading Unseen Realm now for the third time. And I'm reading all the footnotes again, going through it all. It shapes in a different way. It answers all kinds of questions. And because it really is a sea change in the way we look at the unseen realm, the supernatural world, it takes work to get your mind around it. So I encourage you, those links are down below. Go check out Supernatural or Unseen Realm. Get whichever one you like. It'll be the best $15 that you spend this year. Thank you for watching. I'll ask again, if you didn't before, hey, this time do go down, smash that thumbs up button, and pray for us. Pray that God would bless this ministry, this teaching, that he would give me wisdom to teach his word that many might hear. Encourage you, if you haven't yet, subscribe. And when you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and then you'll be made aware every time we put out a new video. Share this video with somebody else. Send it off to someone else. Put it on your social media feed. That is why we are growing by leaps and bounds. You're putting the word out, and I thank you for that. And finally, drop by and pay us a visit here at decodingthedeception.com. We've got resources, and then we've got more resources, and then we've got more resources still. And on top of all that, you can find all of our videos here on the website. You can see the breadth and scope of the things that we talk about, because we don't just talk about the Bible. Those evil forces, the B'nai Elohim, the fallen ones, are at work in this world, and they work to deceive, and we work to equip people so that they can decode the deception. This is Matthias 76, and together we are decoding the deception. God bless, and have a great day.